Okay, so if you look at the three different substitutions that you have to choose from, um, did you choose one? Okay. So this has an advantage that the derivative of cosine is negative sine. So if you're trying to use power rule, having one either sine or cosine, the opposite of whatever you're doing the power rule with on the outside, is going to enable you to be able to integrate it. Okay, so once you do that, you can just distribute. So you have 2 cosine squared x sine x. And I'm going to go ahead and write this as a separate integral minus the integral of sine x dx. Okay, so on this guy, the 2 is basically going to come out. What's your u going to be? What's your du? Do you have it? Almost. Okay, so a negative 1 and a negative 1 on the outside. Okay, so then if I rewrote this, go ahead and bring the 2 out at the same time. You'd have negative 2 integral of u squared, and all of this is your du. So, okay. So then this would be 1/3 u to the third. So that would just be negative 2/3 u to the third. I'm going to go ahead and put in what u is. And then what is the integral of sine? Negative cosine. So I've got minus a negative cosine x plus c. So you can just go ahead and change that to a positive cosine x plus c. Okay, so you're using a mixture of trig identities and trig substitutions. Any thoughts on how to solve that one? Here, I'll put it up for you. Yeah, it looks a lot like the arcsine one. Okay, and sometimes you can use trig substitutions, but arcsine came from a trig substitution anyways when we derived it originally. So I'm just going to write down the formula here. I wouldn't try doing this homework without your formula sheet. Okay, because you need a lot of integral rules, you need a lot of trig substitutions. And these just aren't the ones that come up all the time. Okay, so what, go ahead and make this an integral. What would a be for us? 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and write this as 3 squared minus, what squared would be here? 2x, yeah. Okay, so basically our a is 3. And if you don't have just x, then that's your u. So u is 2x. What's du? Good. Do I have it? Okay. So this now is 1/2. This guy is your du. So du over 3 squared minus u squared. Okay, so you're just substituting into the formula. You've got the arcsine x over a is really all you have to remember. So 1/2 arcsine is u over a for us. So what's our u? 2x over our a, which is 3, plus c. And we got it. One more easy one before we do the problem of death. Yes. thoughts on what on earth this could possibly be? Either a U substitution we could do or what rule you think it might be. Okay, I agree. So let's start with U as ln of x, then it might look more like a rule if we fix all that. So what would du be? Which we have, okay? So that's the thing, you kind of got to watch when du is 1 over x dx how sneaky it looks. And I was not trying to include the 9 there. Okay, so let's try rewriting this. All of that's du, including the x. And then we have 9 plus 4u squared. Yes, it does become an inverse something, a trig of some sort. It does look like arctan. Okay. Now, if you were to go to all the trouble to do one of those trig substitutions with a triangle, it would still come out to be arctan. But if you notice it looks like an arcsine rule or an arctan rule, it's going to be a lot easier to go straight for that. So I'm just going to write the rule off to the side here. So it's 1 over a squared plus x squared equals 1 over a arctan x over a plus c. So if I rewrote this, you're really wanting a squared plus something with variables squared. So it's 3 squared, and what would be in parentheses here? 2u, yeah. Okay, so we're kind of doing like another u, right? Like a z substitution. So z is what? And dz? Do you have it? Okay. So now this guy is a half integral of dz over 3 squared plus z squared. Afraid I'm losing Leon over there. All right, so 1/2, now I'm using this formula. So it's 1 over what? Arctan of z over 3. Do you want to go ahead and put what z is? Oh, I'm still not even through, yeah. Okay, I'm going to write that. Those too many substitutions for me all in a row. I'll go back now and erase. Go ahead and put the u is ln of x. Okay, so that's pretty much all you can do. If you'd rather write that as 1/6, you can, but that is your answer.